Imagine if I told you there's a divine number hidden in plain sight on the first pages of the Bible that has quietly shaped wealth, success, and abundance for those who understood its meaning. This number was the turning point for a man who went from being broke to building one of the largest spiritual movements in America. It's not superstition. It's a pattern. And once you align with it, everything changes. But before I reveal it, comment below. I turn on the sacred code for abundance in my life. That one action may just activate something within you. Let's go back to a time when Oral Roberts, a now famous American spiritual leader, was at his lowest. His church had no money. The bills were piling up. His message of God's abundance felt like a cruel joke. He had spoken for years about prosperity and divine blessing, but he couldn't pay the rent. He was tired, frustrated, and on the verge of quitting. Then something shifted. He turned to the Bible, not just for comfort, but for answers. He began noticing a repeated number showing up in powerful places, starting in Genesis. And it wasn't random. It was deliberate, rhythmic, sacred. The number was 7. Oral dove deeper, studying not just the scripture, but also spiritual science. That's when he discovered the teachings of Ernest Holmes, the founder of the Science of Mind movement. Holmes believed that numbers were more than symbols, they were energetic keys. And 7, he taught, was the number of completion, manifestation, and divine rhythm. So Oral tried something different, a small ritual, a written intention, a 7-day plan. And within months, everything changed. Donations poured in, his ministry expanded, and he built healing centers and universities that still exist today. Coincidence? Or a spiritual law in motion? Let's unpack what Oral and Holmes discovered. Genesis 2:2-3 says, "By the 7th day, God had finished the work he had been doing. So on the 7th day, he rested from all his work. Then God blessed the 7th day and made it holy, because on it he rested from all the work of creating that he had done." That's no throwaway line. The number 7 is mentioned 3 times in this short passage, a divine emphasis. It's the moment of completion, not when the work started, but when it was done. In Hebrew tradition, the 7th day, the Sabbath, is not just rest, but a sacred space of allowing, of letting creation become real. Ernest Holmes took this further. He showed that 7 wasn't just holy in Scripture, it was embedded in the structure of reality. 7 colors of light in the rainbow, 7 notes in the musical scale, 7 phases of the moon, 7 chakras in the body, 7 major endocrine glands. Even our brain responds best when a message is repeated 7 times. Holmes believed this wasn't accidental. He taught that the number 7 represents the bridge between the invisible, spiritual, and the visible, material. It's the code that turns possibility into form, if you use it with intention, alignment, and surrender. And it doesn't stop with Christianity. Egyptians, Chinese mystics, Mayans, Greeks all gave sacred meaning to 7. Why? Because it keeps showing up in nature, in thought, in healing, and in creation. It's not magic, it's a universal law. Now let's bring this sacred code into your life. The same code that transformed Oral Roberts from a desperate man with an empty bank account into a spiritual leader who built universities and healed millions. What he discovered wasn't a trick, it was a rhythm. A way to align your thoughts, your feelings, and your spirit with the creative force of the universe. Inspired by the teachings of Ernest Holmes, this simple 7-day writing practice is like tending to a garden of abundance. Each day is a sacred step, not just toward money, but toward harmony with divine law. All you need is a pen, a notebook, and 7 minutes of true intention each day. And remember, The power isn't in the paper. It's in your feeling, your belief, your surrender. Let's begin. Day 1. Plant the seed. Every garden begins with a seed, small but full of potential. On the first day, write your intention 7 times, clearly and specifically. For example, I gratefully receive $5,000 to support my new business. Write it as though it has already happened. Imagine your hand touching the money. Feel the relief, the joy, the celebration. This is the moment of creation. You are speaking to the universe with clarity. Like placing a seed gently into the soil, you're setting a powerful intention. Day 2. Grow roots. Today is about anchoring your dream. Write the same sentence 7 times, but this time, focus on feeling safe in your abundance. What does financial security feel like in your body? Calm shoulders, steady breath, a peaceful heart? Picture the roots of a strong tree reaching deep into the earth. Your dream is becoming real, not just in your mind, but in your nervous system. Day 3. Branch out. Now that you're grounded, it's time to expand. As you write today, imagine your abundance growing outward, like branches reaching for the sun. What new opportunities appear? What people do you connect with? How does this prosperity help you serve others better? Your life is stretching in new directions, opening doors, attracting light. Day 4. Bloom. This is a day of beauty. As you write your intention, picture your success not just as a personal gain, but as a blessing to others. Imagine your family smiling. Imagine the ripple effect of your prosperity, how it inspires, supports, and uplifts those around you. Just like flowers bloom and fill the air with fragrance, your abundance begins to inspire others. Day 5. Bear fruit. Now, let it get real. What tangible things shift in your world because of this abundance? Is it a debt erased, a car fixed, a new place to live? Picture it clearly. Write it with joy. You're not fantasizing. You're aligning with possibility. The fruit is almost ready to pick. Day 6. Gather the harvest. Today is for celebration. Feel gratitude flow through you as you write. Imagine holding everything you've asked for in your hands. Smile as you write each sentence. Know, deep down, that it's already done. Just as a farmer gathers the final crop, you too gather the fruits of your focused energy, belief, and trust. Day 7. Rest and release. This is the most sacred day of all, and also the most difficult. Today, you do nothing. No writing, no wishing, no visualizing. Just rest, just like God did on the 7th day. Holmes taught that letting go is not giving up, it's opening space. The moment we stop chasing, we begin receiving. So today, trust, feel light, let the universe take over. This 7-day ritual isn't about manipulating energy or begging for a miracle. It's about aligning yourself with what's already true, that the same divine intelligence that made galaxies, oceans, and forests also planted the seed of abundance within you. You're not reaching out to something outside of you. You're waking up something sacred that's been waiting inside you all along. Are you ready to let it bloom? Here's where most people fail. According to Holmes, 95% of people write their intentions like a shopping list. They scribble out what they want but feel nothing. Big mistake. The feeling is the glue. It's the emotion that binds the intention to your deeper mind. Without emotion, your inner world stays asleep. But with feeling, real, embodied, joyful feeling, you activate belief. And belief is the currency of the spiritual world. Holmes explained the 7-time writing method like this. First time, breaks mental resistance. Second, gets your subconscious attention. Third, sparks curiosity. Fourth, creates emotional familiarity. Fifth, builds mental acceptance. Sixth, starts forming belief. Seventh, locks in certainty. That's why writing less than 7 times doesn't fully penetrate, and writing more adds no extra power. 7 is enough. 7 is complete. When you pair this method with strong gratitude and vivid emotion, something changes. You stop trying to make things happen and instead become a channel for what's already trying to come through you. One woman, Margaret T., followed this process needing $8,000 for her son's school tuition. She had no clue where it would come from. But after completing her 7 days and fully letting go, she received the money unexpectedly from a relative she barely knew. Down to the exact amount. Coincidence or spiritual law in action? Now you know the truth. The Bible wasn't hiding this number. It was highlighting it from the very beginning as a sacred code for how the universe creates. 7 is the vibration of completion, of manifestation, of trust. Ernest Holmes called this process the science of spiritual alignment. Not magic, not manipulation, but divine cooperation. So now the question is, what will you do with this knowledge? Will you try the 7-day practice, not as a gimmick, but as a sacred ritual? Will you approach it with trust, with joy, with seriousness? Will you activate this code not just for money, but for peace, healing, or purpose? If this message has touched something inside you, comment below. I turn on the sacred code for abundance in my life, and if you return after completing the practice, share your story with the words, "The 7 brought me," because your words may unlock someone else's miracle too. And before you go, what if I told you there's another biblical code that activates wealth, but it's hidden not in numbers, but in salt? Curious? Then click on the next video. Place salt in this sacred place in your house and attract a lot of money. Deepak Chopra. You won't believe what you've been missing.